one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Alderman Davis.
Here.
Shackelford.
Here.
Marcus.
Here.
Jeffers. Walters.
Here.
Piper.
Here.
Arnold.
Here.
All right, approval of the agenda this evening. Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Alderman Walters? I was going to have the board, depending on if anybody was wanting to speak. Mr. Jeffers is unable to come this evening. He is on the agenda for bank investments. We can entertain a motion to remove that from the agenda this evening, or if there's somebody that would like to comment, that we can. Just open at this point, otherwise it'd be a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion on the table till later date.
Okay, so amend the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Walters to amend the agenda by removing the investments for Alderman Jeffers until he can attend.
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Arnold. Roll call, please.
Alderman Arnold,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Jeffers, Marcus,
Yes.
Shackelford,
Yes.
Macon.
Yes.
So moved. Thank you. All right, citizens' comments. We have Dave Bewick under parking.
Yeah, it's hard to hear. Dave Ewing, Ward 2. I just want to make a comment on what your discussion is going to be about tonight for parking on election days on city property. I don't think that would be an issue, or we wouldn't even have that come up for discussion at this time. If I were to have been out there with signs saying vote for Walters, or Caston, or Haas, or Marcus, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. And I don't think it's really the board's decision to restrict tax-paying citizens that own this property and try and restrict them from parking on this parking lot at any time. And, you know, it seems like it boils down to, you know, you're all elected officials, you're going to have to deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, which brings us to the next thing on our agenda, a certificate of appreciation. We have two wonderful young men here with us this evening that we have a very special night planned for. I'm going to come down there. All right, so I had made mention about this at the last board meeting about two young men in our community that did a lemonade stand and that had donated their money that they raised to the police department. So this evening, we were so excited that they took the time out of their day and their busy summer to do something for this police department that we wanted to present them both with an award and a day of appreciation. So first, we have the mastermind of the lemonade stand. His name is Owen Literal. And then we have his accomplice, Preston Literal. We brought a lot of the gentlemen, the men and women from our police department here to get some pictures for both of Mr. Literals here. If they want to come up with their family and get some pictures taken with the police department. And also we have Lieutenant Nutre here that wants to present something to them.
Hey guys, I want you to know that at your young age, I know everybody thinks the police department, firemen, and paramedics, and nurses and teachers are all the heroes, but I want you two to know that on behalf of the men and women of our police department, that has attitudes like yours, and a positive outlook, and your willingness to help the citizens, you guys are the heroes to us. And you'll never even know what it means for you to have that lemonade stand for us, okay? So tonight, I'm gonna make you guys both honorary freedom policemen, if that's okay. Fair enough? expect you to work at 7 o'clock in the morning.
See everybody?
Get it? Doesn't? Awesome.
All right.
Good. Everybody looks good. He's right.
Okay, again, I just want to thank Owen and Preston for coming this evening, and we really appreciate your guys' effort. That's a great job out there supporting the community, so thanks again for the family also coming this evening. All right, on to old business. We have bill number 1411, parking signs, second reading. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to put bill number 1411, parking signs, onto its second reading.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Walters to put on its second reading, seconded by Alderman Arnold. Roll call, please.
Alderman Meeking.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Shepherd. Walters.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
So moved. Bill number 1411, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Ely, Missouri, authorizing the implementation of traffic control measures to assist with maintaining unrestricted traffic flow.
Make a motion we accept it as read on the
Motion by Alderman Walters to accept as read on its final reading. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Alderman Minkus. Roll call, please.
Alderman Arnold.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Shepherd. Marcus.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Meeking.
Yes.
So moved. All right, on to bill number 1412, Community Treatment Incorporated, second reading. Any questions or comments?
Make a motion. Put it on a second final reading by caption.
All right, motion by Alderman Walters to put it on its second and final reading by caption only. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Marcus. Roll call.
Alderman Minkus.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Shepherd. Walters.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
So moved. Bill number 1412, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Ely, Missouri, annexing certain territory into the City of Ely, Missouri upon petition by Tracy Bucking, Chief Operating Officer of Comtree Incorporated.
I'll make a motion we accept it as read on its final reading.
Motion by Alderman Walters to accept as read on its final reading. Do we have a second? Seconded by Alderman Minkus. Roll call.
Alderman Arnold.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Shepherd. Marcus.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Minkus.
Yes.
So moved. All right. Ward 4 Alderman vacancy. As discussed at the last meeting, I had let everybody know that we had received a letter requesting to be appointed to Ward 4 Alderman. This time I do want to let the board members know, we still have the same representative wanting to come forward. It is Mrs. Wendy Arnold. We have not received any others, so if there is no discussion to take place, we would appoint Mrs. Arnold to Ward 4 vacancy. Do you guys want to open discussion?
She's gonna want to play, it's just kind of a moot point.
Exactly.
I'll make a motion. And I'll second it.
Okay, so I have an approval of my appointment of Mrs. Wendy Arnold Arnold to the Ward 4 vacancy, seconded by Alderman Minkus. Roll call, please.
Alderman Minkus?
Yes.
Shackelford?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Jeffers? Walters?
Yes.
Piper?
Yeah.
Arnold?
Abstain.
So moved. Mrs. Arnold, if you'd like to come forward and be sworn in, and take your seat. If you'd like to stand over here in front of Mrs. Arnold. Excuse me, Carmen.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Wendy Arnold,
I, Wendy Arnold,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications of office
that I possess all the qualifications of office
of Ward 4
of Ward 4
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support
that I will support
Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
of the state of Missouri,
of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of the laws of the state
the provisions and laws of the state
affecting the city of this class,
affecting the cities of this class,
and the ordinance of the city of Pewley,
and the ordinance of the city of Pueblo,
and faithfully demean myself in office.
and faithfully demean myself in
So
office.
help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you.
Waiting.
Wendy.
My,
Just take this one, this belongs to the attorney.
No. It's one shot. Let's try it.
All right. And then Sue, if you could just make sure within the minutes that you're denoting Alderman Rick Arnold and Wendy Arnold. All right, we are on to new business. Welcome, Alderman Wendy Arnold.
thank you.
All right, resolution number 2016-53, all hazard mitigation plan. Any questions or comments? We have no questions or comments. Would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2016 by read 2016-53 by caption only.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alderman Arnold. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Marcus. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wendy Arnold,
Abstain.
Alderman Minkus,
Yes.
Shackelford,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Jeffers, Walters,
Yes.
Eric Piper,
Yes.
Alderman Rick Arnold.
Yes.
Resolution number 2016-53, the resolution of the City of Peabody, Missouri adopting the St. Louis Regional All Hazard Mitigation Plan 2015 through 2020, updated 2015. We have a motion to approve as read.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Walters. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Marcus. Roll call, please.
Alderman Rick Arnold,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Jeffers, Marcus,
Yes.
Shackelford,
Yes.
Minkus,
Yes.
Alderman Wendy Arnold.
Yes.
So moved. All right, approval of minutes. We do have a couple of changes that were noted. Let's see, page 4 on the March 28th, 16. It was just a grammar change, decimals to decibels. Also on March 28th, 16, bill number 1381, 1400 and 1401, Mayor Haas read to Mayor Pro Tem Walters read. So I was not here, he actually read those. July 25th, 16, water rates, 34,000 being changed to the 188,000. Other than that, was there any other questions or comments on the minutes?
Yeah, I have one on the 7/25/16 workshop. It says concerned about Department of Revenue's changes, it should be the Department of Natural Resources.
So DNR. You have those changes too? Okay. All right, any other changes or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the said changes.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Walters, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Rick Arnold. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wendy Arnold.
Abstain.
Alderman Mingus.
Yes.
Alderman Shackelford.
Yes.
Alderman Walters.
Yes.
Alderman Jeffers. Alderman Walters.
Yes.
Alderman Piper.
Yes.
Alderman Rick Arnold.
Yes.
So moved. All right, Park Board, I did receive a letter from Mrs. Rachel Minkus that she would like to apply for the available Park Board position. Does anybody have any questions or comments at this time? If not, I would like to appoint Rachel Minkus to the Park Board.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Marcus, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Rick Arnold. Roll call, please.
Alderman Rick Arnold.
Yes.
Alderman Piper.
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Jeffers. Marcus.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Mingus.
Abstain.
Alderman Wendy Piper.
Wendy who?
Wendy Piper.
My wife.
Wendy.
Yes.
Wendy Arnold.
Yes.
Yes. Boy, he's got it.
So moved. We had one other one, but we did not get anything in writing yet. We had one other one in question for the Park Board. We didn't get anything in writing for that one. No. Okay. For Bill.
He was here a couple of weeks.
I know, he said he was gonna drop something off, he didn't. I didn't wanna appoint if he hadn't for sure.
We only got the one.
I'll get on it.
Okay, I didn't wanna miss out on him if he wanted to. Right, okay. Okay, on to new business, JD Ground Service LLC. Mr. Brown?
This is a lawn care company, and they're working on, it's already gone through P&Z, it's been approved, it's just a matter of approving the business license for the company. And it's not out of a resident, it's a commercial site more than it is. He actually lives in Arnold, the owner does, so it's up in Marble Springs. And according to Sue, she thinks it's probably one of the old structures up there along Marble Springs.
It's across by the ball field.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Do we have a representative for the company this evening? No? Okay. Any questions or comments? No?
We heard we had no opposition when I had the neighbors.
No opposition. Okay. All right, you are needing approval for the license, correct? Yes? Okay. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to give approval for the business license.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Mingus. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Arnold. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wendy Arnold.
Yes.
Mingus.
Yes.
Shackelford.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Jeffers. Walters.
Yes.
Piper.
Yes.
Alderman Rick Arnold.
Yes.
So moved. All right, Public Works vacancy, Mr. Brown.
It's official, we had 2 employees from the Public Works Division have announced their retirement as of October 1st or 2nd, whatever the date may be, but they're walking out the door. We also had one of our newer employees who got an opportunity to go back into the construction trade. So we have 3 we got 1 vacancy now. We'll have 3. What I'm asking the board to do is approve going out and advertising for the 3 positions. These are not new positions, we're just filling 1 vacancy. We either do have or we will have. One of them, we're going to advertise as a water operator, because one of the gentlemen leaving is Keith. A lot of knowledge walks out the door. We don't have anybody on staff who can really step in and serve in that role. So we will advertise 1 position, somebody looking for somebody with water operator's experience and all the credentials. The other 2 will just be public works laborers.
So we are going to request that they have the licensing. Questions or comments from Mr. Brown?
I thought the gentleman that worked in the water department already prior experience in that.
If you're talking about Rick, no, he's a carpenter. Everything he's learned since he's been here. And he's not ready to step in and serve in that capacity for our water system. We're going to need to find somebody that has that experience to do that.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, at this time, I will entertain a motion to authorize Mr.
I'll make a
Brown
motion.
to go out and publicize for the vacancies. Okay. Motion by Alderman Walters. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Marcus. Roll call, please.
Alderman Rick Arnold,
Yes.
Piper,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Jeffers, Marcus,
Yes.
Shackelford,
Yes.
Marcus, Mingus,
Yes.
Alderman Ricciardo,
Yes.
So moved. Okay,
Really, that
TNR.
microphone does bend down a little.
All right, TNR ordinance discussion.
So I've been approached by Ms. Kinsey, who was kind enough to bring me a number of different ordinances from other locations that have adopted the TNR program. Of the ones that I've seen so far, the only one that makes any real sense to me is a Pacific ordinance that does a couple of things that I like. One, it limits the number of cats in the feral cat colonies, immediate removal in the event that they're sick or otherwise a problem, so that they can get either veterinary care or euthanized. They have to register, there has to be a sponsor, they have to report to the city and follow city ordinances up to the point that they are excused from the animal abuse ordinance having to do with dropping animals off, but they're required to feed them, they're required to try to house them or provide shelter if possible. It's the only one I see that I like. It does require insurance as well. Again, I don't like any of them for the liability purpose, but of the ones I've looked at so far, Pacific looks good. I want to look at Eureka's ordinance as well. I have not had a chance to do that before I give you guys a final recommendation on an ordinance, if you're going to adopt it.
Okay, any questions or comments to Mr. Wesco? Yes.
Madam Mayor, a friend of mine, she's a council person over that way. I've talked to her, she voted against it, but she said it is working. So just for you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, if our attorney is not comfortable with it, I'm not either, number one. Number two is, I don't get very many constituents talk to me. They like it, they don't have anything to say. But the ones I've had, there's been quite a few, are not in favor of this. They're tired of, whether they're neutered or spayed or not, they still use your mulch at the litter boxes. They still urinate on your bushes. They just don't have more kittens. So I'm just not in favor of it at all.
That statement, like Marcus, I was against it from the beginning until I started calling some of these other ones. It is working. It's reducing the population.
I can't disagree with you, Russ. It's reducing the population, but that population is coming back, and they're still defecating on stuff. And these people are not happy with it. They're tired of the bushes being destroyed, cats over the top of their cars, and all that. I mean, people just are not happy with it.
What are we going to do if we don't do this? We're going to allocate more money, get some more animal control. I mean, I'm willing to do anything, but right now, we're not doing anything. That's not going to stop.
Well, you know, Sean brought up cases where it doesn't. It hasn't helped.
One at a time. Alderman Walters.
Well, there's a couple of things here. One of my neighbors that lives next to me, she informed me that one of their cats, you know, the property where Peakley Square was, used to be a hog farm, and Mrs. Ray had hundreds of cats. And she fed them in her backyard, but the people that live there say that one of them cats did get in their house and did go wild in their house. It took a miracle to get the cat out of the house. So really, I'm not sure we want the responsibility once they get trapped and neutered and released back in the wild. I don't think the city of Peebly wants that responsibility. I mean, there's ways to get rid of cats. I mean, Sherry has been doing a job with it. I mean, she's been tracking cats. In fact, you know, some of the neighbors up in my ward have been quite upset with her about how she's been catching cats, and then they're not coming forth in the time allowed it. And she's tried every effort to notify people that she has had cats, and they still don't come forward until a month afterwards or whatever. Well, then it's too late. So, I mean, I don't believe the city wants to get in this track and release program. I think it's for insurance practices, I don't think we want to be involved in it.
Alderman Cyber.
Have we heard anything on the animal control officer? Is there any input from them?
I haven't spoken to her. I don't know if Mr. Brown or Mr. Westhoff have. Sherry's concerns about the TNR, I believe she's kind of okay with it. Am I correct? Sherry, in animal control?
Does she like the idea of it? Not at all.
Okay.
Well, she likes the folks,
The folks. Okay, that's.
and they get along well together. But I'm not sure she's a strong supporter of the program.
Anybody
I'll
else?
confirm that tomorrow for you, and I'll report back to the board members, but I'm pretty sure about that.
Anybody else?
I'd like to wait and find out what else Sean, you know, like Don said, if he doesn't feel comfortable with it, I don't. So, you know, I feel like Ed, you know, really, I don't think the city wants that liability. But I'd like to see what the options are.
I have one thing to add. There are methods of controlling liability through insurance policies, through indemnification, hold harmless agreements, etc. My concern is that the organizations that we're dealing with are not going to be in the position to acquire the necessary amount of insurance or take on the responsibility of holding the city of Peebly harmless for any damage that happens as a result of it. I mean, again, I'm more than happy to talk to them, we continue negotiation and continue discussion with them so that we can come to something where I can come to the board and say, I'm now satisfied that our liability issues are taken care of.
All right. Anything else? No? All right, well then we will wait to hear back from you on a report with that. All right, next on the agenda, parking on election day ordinance discussion.
Okay, so, under the law of the state of Missouri 115.063, I'm sorry, 115.637.1, subsection 18, they established the 25-foot limit from the polling place. There had been some discussion previously about a letter from the county that might have given us some leeway as to where we could place, you know, restrictions on campaigning or electioneering, as they call it. Without the voting authority telling us specifically where the voting area is, and we may have that letter. I asked for it, we don't have one for this election period. But without that letter, I don't know that we can do anything other than try to enforce a couple of key provisions of our ordinances, all right? The first being, bear with me, please. We've got an ordinance 355.090 that allows the city traffic engineer to designate proper sign places, to prohibit parking in especially hazardous conditions and or congested areas. So we are going to be congested. We are going to be, it is going to be a hazardous for people moving to and from the voting polls. But I am concerned about the First Amendment rights of the citizens to exercise their ability to say, I support this candidate or that candidate or the other candidate. I have looked long and hard for cases that basically say, yeah, you can push them back. There are no cases in the state of Missouri that say that, okay? So I don't want to be the test case for whether or not we're abridging somebody's First Amendment rights by telling them, you've got to go back farther than 25 feet. Now, we have a reasonable interest in protecting the safety of the people who come to vote. Under that same statute that I quoted you, the 115.637, 17 says that if any person at any registration site, polling place, counting location, or verification location causes a breach of the peace or engages in disorderly conduct, etc., violence, threats of violence, etc., or impedes or interferes with the such registration, election, count, or verification, that they are in violation of the law. So accordingly, I think that if it gets out of hand in the parking lot, if it gets to the point where the voters are impeded, that our police force is empowered to say, you're in violation, we'll give you a shot, move back, or we're going to arrest you for violation of the law. That's as far as I think we can go with this. And again, I do not want to be a test case for First Amendment rights at a polling place.
Now, that letter we received last time said we could say there was no electioneering at all. Now, the signs, I don't know anything to do with signs, which is electioneering. But some of them are on private properties. Maybe that's how they get around with no electioneering, because it is on private property, say the Knights of Columbus, or say it was over the First Baptist Church. Could that be a way they get around it? About outletting electioneering because you're trespassing on private property?
Well, you can't, so the bill goes on to say that it does not apply to private property, specifically with the signage and so forth.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about signage, it's more so the electioneering part. Because there, I think, Steve, you mentioned that there are some places that do not allow electioneering.
There's roughly 16 places that do not allow electioneering and or both.
What are they? If you don't mind my asking, because I haven't found one of them.
Oh, there is. Wes has got the list. You can get the list from Wes Wagner. He's got the
So
list.
Wes Wagner as the voting authority?
No, it's the place that
Their
they.
choice.
It's their choice. If we decide, we can decide not to. If somebody else decides not to, they can do the same thing.
I'll be done.
Yeah.
I know more about the law on this than I did.
Yeah, there's
I
over
read a
16.
case out of the State Circuit that said that as long as it was part of the egress and ingress to the polling place, okay, and that it was public property, designated as such by the voting authority, all right? City of Peabody City Hall is an open public space. That voting, or that electioneering was allowed as long as it was outside of that 25-foot space. Now, there are cases specifically having to do with schools where the school is not designated as a public place for purposes of voting, except for the very limited area designated by the election authority that says you can vote here, this lobby, this doorway, this portion. And that case was very specific. It said it is a violation if you, even outside of the 25-foot space, get involved in that private space and conduct electioneering if you're requested to leave or if you're told not that you're not allowed to do it.
Right, because it's the individual, wherever their property, wherever they're having the election, if they don't want you there, they can tell you to leave. If you don't, then they can have you arrested.
And if it's a private space, for sure. If it's a public space,
And I think there's some public spaces that are doing the same thing too.
again, if it's a school, I'd agree with you. Okay?
And I don't know, Sean, where everyone is. I know there's roughly 16, give or take a couple, that do not allow a Warner vote.
Okay, so I know again, in my jurisdiction, Baldwin, when we go to vote, we vote for school. They do allow electioneering on the property. It's limited. They literally say you can line up on this portion, and you can electioneer here, and that's as close as you get, and that's all you get. Otherwise, it's prohibited.
Right, and there is a line that was out in front out there that they spray painted at one time. And yes, there was some people crossing the line and everything else. Yes, there was people impeding people on the sidewalk and everything else. That's what people told us. We got complaints on that where they couldn't occupy the sidewalk.
Well, it's actually the election officials themselves who are empowered to direct the police department to then remove those folks and to tell them where they can go.
But Wes has got that list if you want to.
Yeah, and Wes, I've talked to Dickie about this today. We've been trying to get a hold of Wes. Wes is apparently very busy at the moment. I can only imagine why. So I haven't been able to get through to him to get him to give me that list. I was also hoping to get a copy of that letter because I don't believe we've got it in our records.
Well, the letter, we've got a copy. I've got a copy someplace in my files and everything else too.
That'd be great. I'd love to see it. We've been looking for it.
And I've got a copy of the list someplace too in my files.
Okay. You're welcome to talk to me at any point on this.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, anything else on the parking?
Well, I personally think by the next election in November, we should try to oust the county from using our property. Because first of all, it interrupts the business of City Hall and everything else for a day. Very little gets done in City Hall with the election.
Nothing, just me. You're saying that, I do believe I was told out there that it will be either moved this year or next year, with or without us kicking them out.
Yeah, Ms. Smith told me that they're not happy with City Hall, and she's the judge.
Anything else? All right. July 4th report, anybody? No? All right, Alderman Jefferson not here. Alderman Marcus?
Just a couple of things. Got all the city's contact and everything else too. We're trying to get some dates. I told Marvin last time that we're pretty close, so he's not here tonight, but I'll get in touch with him. Every city said they want to meet and everything else too, so we got that on the works. The other thing is too is talking to Ken Waller and some of the other council people out that way. Seems like some of our constituents are going out there and telling the county that our attorney and our city administrator does not have the authority to go out and negotiate anything for the city, and that is wrong. And I would like to see us send a letter out to the West Gates or whoever we need to, saying, hey, ours in the minutes when we get that taken care of and everything else, this is what's going on. Our city attorney and our city administrator have got the right because we give it to them all the time. Citizens have no right to go out there and tell them that they don't have the authority because they don't know. So I'd like to get that taken care of. The other thing is we talked about hiring some people in the water departments and everything else. And like I said, we have Missouri American Water here. We might want to talk to them and see what they can offer, or some other outfit, and see what they can offer, because as Dickie said, we're going to be looking for somebody with licensing and everything else. That's a lot of licensing that they're going to have. And as Sean said about liability, we're going to have a whole lot of liability too on bringing the water and sewer up to DNR and all that sort of stuff and everything else. So something maybe just to look at. So, otherwise, Madam Mayor, that's all I've got.
Thank you. Alderman Wolf?
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Shackelford?
Yes, I was just wondering, where do we stand on vetting out street sweeping? Street sweeper?
Are you talking about the purchase or just contracting?
Looking at the contract.
That's something we had talked about earlier, that would be a 2017 issue, not 16. Well, same way with contracting some of our mowing services, that was a 17 issue. We'll start looking at those things, but right now we're focusing on our insurance right now. The next round is our property liability and workers' comp insurance. That's our next round of initiatives.
I was just wondering, since some of the issues with street sweeping ends up in our sewers, could we be looking at maybe the sewer district getting some of the money for a street sweeping contract?
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
About the sewer,
Can we use sewer district funds in order to fund the street sweeping contract?
Oh, probably not, sewer funds would be very limited. That's, and I'm speaking a little bit from Mr. Shin's viewpoint. Sewer funds are very protected, generally speaking. The one that's less protected is the water funds, but the sewer funds, I'd say no.
I was just saying that does affect our sewers.
That's a stretch.
Maybe more so the stormwater drainage.
Yeah, it's more of a stormwater issue. You know, it doesn't impact the treatment plant, but to go out and buy a street sweeper on sewer funds, it's hard to defend that. No. There may be other things we can look at, like say, transportation tax would be where first place I'd look, not, that's where I'd look for the.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
That's all.
That's all? Okay. Alderman Piper?
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Minkus?
I have some residents coming about Peewee Heights about the grass, on those vacant lots, or even going over on the street now. Mr. Piper, can you address that since you live over there?
Yes, I was gonna talk to Vicki about that. I didn't wanna bring it from the board. I thought maybe we can address it with these people. They're only going halfway down the road, and we're trying to wonder why they're not going the rest of the way.
Yeah, because I know they were staying over in Hunter's Glen when they, I guess I was from Kenny, said that they make them cut the whole lot now, and not just 20 feet back.
Yeah, this is only a 100-foot stretch, 200-foot right at the bottom of the, is that Dunklin Industrial? Is that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also we talked some time back about raising the water fee, not the rate, the deposit, and that kind of fell by the wayside. A perfect example, is one of my tenants, they came in and they just want to pay part of the rent to get the, part of the water bill to get it put back on, but now they're gone. So, I mean, they didn't do it, the city didn't do it because they had asked me about it. I said, no, they're leaving. So, I really think we need to move forward with that, about increasing. I know you're listening, you're just shaking your head.
No, I'm listening. I'm hearing you, okay.
Okay.
It's Stephanie and us I have a hard time with.
Okay. But I think that's something we need to maybe put in that workshop, really to work it out, to do it. I can't think of the last one was now.
One thing I'll say about that, I haven't forgotten about that, but the new building software that we have in place now, it took us a while to get some bugs worked out of that thing. And that wasn't the time to start changing that. So we can actually start moving forward on that right now. We're in pretty good shape with that software now.
Okay, and the last one, as the last one was, and I want to put this on the last workshop, but I didn't get on there, about changing Elm Street, making Riverview all the way up, and also to change Peggy Court to Banks. I mean, it just makes sense, and it's a lot easier. You know, when I try to explain stuff to people, you go to Peggy, 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 Peggy. I mean, you got Peggy in 4 directions. And I think it just makes more sense, especially for safety issues, that you have Banks go all the way down into Peggy Court, then Riverview starting at Main Street to go all the way up. That's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Rick Arnold.
I don't have a whole lot. I just, I want Chief and Tony to relay that I appreciate all your men coming in for those young guys that raised that money. I know they're not all working, and for them to take the time out of their day to show up, I think it's pretty neat. But I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Whitney Arnold.
Just thank you for the appointment.
My pleasure. Hopefully we can start some things moving and work forward now for you guys. You guys are going to have a busy household. All right. City Administrator.
I just want to say welcome, Ms. Arnold. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
And Hurricane Hornride Road, those have been traveling that road. It's coming along fairly quickly. We're getting down towards the last phase of where we need to be on the contract. I know we got a big race weekend coming up But actually, the hardest part was around that lake and building that retaining wall and backfilling, and that's taking time, but they're working on it. And actually, we're making good progress. I think you'll start seeing more and more progress now that most of that wall is just about done. So,
Mr. Brown,
yes,
do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Maybe I forgot. Are there sidewalks going along there or not?
No,
No sidewalks?
no, there's just not enough room.
Okay.
We worked within the right of way. We did not acquire any property of any sort. So that's the reason it is what it is. The road will be wider, new surface, and lights, street light.
Okay. My wife asked.
Okay.
I still don't understand how the junkyard over there can leave its vehicles parked all the way up beyond the roadside of the telephone poles. I always thought that the easements went all the way to the telephone poles were put on the boundaries of the easements. And I think it's a shame we're spending all this money for new road surface and everything, but yet they still got all them vehicles piled up all the way along the road. It's, I went over there again on Sunday evening and it's very trashy.
The only thing we could do with that was reach out to the county and see if they would assist us on that in any way, shape, or form. That's the only option we really have is reach out to them. And I could do that. I could give a call. And solid waste, I know a couple of folks over there, solid waste, to see if they can help us out with that.
I think we should. Okay.
All right, I had a couple things first. I did want to again thank you guys and all the officers for coming in. I appreciate it. I believe the men enjoyed it. I know I did. I hope everybody else did. It was something positive for the city instead of all the negative that goes around. The other thing I wanted to say is we do have a Board of Aldermen meeting coming up. The first meeting, I'm sorry, which one was it?
September 1st.
September, yeah, we're closed on that, September the 5th for the holiday. We were planning on moving the meeting to Tuesday the 6th. However, you guys have a P&Z board meeting scheduled. So I know the last time we had both meetings in the same night, there was an issue of, some of the aldermen being in P&Z and then having the meeting here. So the other option would be moving the meeting to the 12th, which would be the following Monday, so then we don't interfere with the P&Z meeting. So I just wanted to touch.
The other meeting, the next meeting?
We would have 3 meetings in a row. We would have a meeting September 12th, the 19th, and then our workshop on the 26th.
Could you move it like 30 minutes? Would that give?
It's however you guys, want to handle. I just want to make sure that we're giving P&Z the time to do their, meeting discussions and stuff.
Yeah, they move along pretty quick, really.
Yeah, I don't know what's on the agenda yet.
That was my thing. I didn't know if you guys had things so we could get it out in the public now, that the meeting would move one way or the other.
What's 7:30 for the meeting?
Start the meeting at 7:30 on the 6th. Okay. Is everybody good? Okay, so we'll start the meeting a half hour late on that Tuesday the 6th. Okay?
P&Z sucks too.
Do that too, the P&Z to 6. Okay? No, we don't need a motion for that. Do you have a P&Z scheduled for this month by Kenny? It was canceled. Correct, it was canceled for this month. Because of the election, yes. Okay, I do not have anything else. I would like to say definitely if there's any residents, aldermen, officers, employees that you see something positive going on in town, please bring it forward to us because I would much rather be doing these certificates all day long at these meetings and bringing some positive stuff forward to the city, so thank you. Yes, Alderman Walters?
We usually do this at the beginning of the meeting, but you have to have a minute of silence because Kenny Smith did that.
Yes, you are true, I did, yes. If we could have a moment of silence also for Ken Smith, he did a lot in this town, so brought forward a lot of improvements too. So a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you so much. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Vegas, seconded by Alderman Walters. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Everybody have a good evening.
Hey, how about some help to put the chairs up?
That would be bad. Yeah, oh, that's my favorite here.
Just stack them along the wall or in the back.
Man, get your camera out of the way. I'm happy.
Yeah, Pat, get out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy to see you too, Ed.
What?
I said, I'm happy to see you. You guys are too funny. I'm under pressure.
Come on, get up still. Put me off out there on the parking lot. Drive by. No, you didn't.